USB cord.
That's probably accurate. Yeah. Okay. So what were we saying as the audio is completely out? I was saying, hey, everybody, welcome. We're live.
Hey, we were saying
my
this.
brother
We were
Ben.
saying this. Check it out. Good morning, Ireland. What up, Dylan? Good morning,
Nice.
Prescott.
Good morning.
What up, Mavis? Good morning,
Sweet.
Ghana. Maxwell up in the house.
Hey, all right, cool. Ghana again. Welcome back.
North Carolina. Cherokee in here from North Carolina. We got
nice.
All
places I'd like to be right now. We got snow.
Elias coming in from Puerto Rico.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, tell us where you guys are at. We want to talk to you this morning. Vancouver, what's up, Leanne?
Nice.
The Ozarks,
nice. Good morning.
Missouri up in here. Marcy's saying good morning. So yeah, Belgium.
Sweet.
What? Popperange, Belgium. Represent.
Wow, cool.
Martinez from Belgium. That's pretty cool, man.
Man, there's so many places I want to visit. Any of those places that you guys, everyone's tuning in from, I just want you to know how much I would love to come have lunch in your hometown and have a visit. If it allows, if one day allows, I would just love to do that.
Gales from St. Tropez.
Ah, I think you're saying that right. It sounds right the way.
No, it sounds eloquent. It beautiful, I'm sure. Ontario, Canada. What up, Italy? Klaxon checking in from Italy. That's cool, man. I've been to Italy once. It was nice. Went to Italy. I got to check out Sicily. I rolled in on a boat, big old cruise ship.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Do you feel like you got more the tourist experience or the local experience? What do you think?
No, I didn't get a local experience on a cruise ship. Of course not. I got fat and lazy. That's what I got.
I got a little bit of a local experience going to Italy. You know, some people directed us. We were like, we're looking for a place to sleep. We couldn't speak Italian, so we're doing motions. I need to sleep. He's like, oh yeah, you need to sleep out. He gives us directions, 1 kilometer this way, half kilometer this way. So we go to the place. It's private property, and it was scary, and it's in the middle of nowhere. We were like, let's not go. Let's not sleep there.
Yeah, buddy, I'm out in space. I got my man Deltron right here hanging out with me. Keeping an eye on,
wow, he's got a name. That's cool. Nice.
The atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah, Deltron. We've been hanging out a little bit. We figured we'd call each other something. Hey, guy. Hey, dude. It gets old after a while, you know.
Yeah, all right. People need names.
So we've learned recently, you guys, that there are a lot of things going on the internet from artists that are particularly unsavory. And spent a little bit of time on Reddit, and I've learned that the biggest pet peeve that seems to be out there is when people on YouTube, artists on YouTube, they try to frame something as the only way to do something instead of it just being one approach of many. So if you guys feel that same way, smash that like button. So what we're going to do here is not tell you the way to do something. We're just going to show you different ways of doing stuff and the things that happen when you do. So,
sometimes I think on that note, sometimes I think you who are viewing have some real valuable insights to offer. There's been some comments / questions brought up that have really made me think twice on claims, on methods of doing things. Just valuable insight. That's it. That's all.
Man. Geckonia agrees. Not fun. That's 3 mad faces that they
through triple mad face. That's like
one with like steam coming out of the nose, one that's like red in the face, and then one that's using profanity. So don't be the guy that says, here's the right way to do it, everybody.
No, here's what you do. Don't do that. You know what? So what do you think about? Here's something that I think is similar to that is the true primary colors. What are the true primary? Here's a subject that I think is unhelpful and misleading. What do you think of that? That's kind of a loaded question because I already have so much opinion.
putting definitions there, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
contextual.
Well,
I guess my point is
Maxwell's done looking at your paint tray there.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Thank you, Maxwell. Thanks you. Thanks.
I can't blame him.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Interesting
you.
as your paint tray is.
Yeah. My bad. I meant to switch the camera up here. I'm creating a translucent glow gradient. You know, that's when translucent glow gradient, to let you know what I'm referring to, is when I move through the rainbow from the yellow to the orange to the red, although not hitting the colors all at 100%. I'm shifting the hue. You can see the most yellow where it's brightest. You can see me moving to orange as it gets darker. And I'm going to move all the way to purples that are very gray. They're not going to be intense purple, but I'm going to use that to create a feeling of glow. So how's that to open up the subject of lighting there, brother?
All right. Yeah, we're going to do some glow in here. Yes. So tropes. Saint-Tropez, Leanne says. Saint-Tropez. Okay.
Well, okay. Now that you've pronounced it right, can we go back to the American way?
Yeah. The redneck.
It's easier. It's just easier. Yeah.
On that note, what up, Joe from Killeen, Texas?
Hey, all right. Welcome. Thanks for watching.
Up in the building. So yeah, we are interested in knowing other ways to do things today, because we're tired of Joe saying, here's his way. If you guys have ways you do things, then tell us. And if you want to show us what you're doing, then there's a link in the description of this video.
Oh yeah, right. Thanks for remembering that.
Where you can drag and drop your JPEGs, your PNGs, your PDFs, your things into that space, and then we'll look.
Actually, you know, on that note, I was thinking, Ben, if somebody wants to attach any kind of content, I know it's hard to share your thoughts on a brief chat here on YouTube. So if you want to include any text, I was thinking, you know, we got an hour to kill here. You got time to type something up and just drop it into that drive along with your. If you want to get a more complex upload, you can just type a message in there as well. Maybe you could turn your picture into a meme, you know, like I could write on here, I'd like to know the secret to happiness. And then just drop that.
Hold on, I'm making that one right now.
Okay.
Because I want to know.
Yeah, it's a thought. It could be done. So I'm working my way through a gradient. So what are your thoughts on gradients, Ben?
Well, you know, gradients are beautiful, man. Beautiful. You know why gradients feel so beautiful, Joe? Let me tell you the one correct answer.
Go. Ready, set, go. I feel like here's
how I feel about gradients. I'll give you an honest
answer. All right, let's hear it.
Gradients are amazing because this is the real way that life is. It is not over contrasted black and white. It is gentle transitions. It is myriad options between one and another.
Yeah.
Spectrums in every way.
It's not either or, you know, it's not like a two option deal. In many cases
when you just take one color of paint, you mix it with another paint, and then you get that blend and that gradient. You are creating so many millions of little individual color moments just through the process. Right there.
The colors, it really is millions. Yeah, that's a look that I like with this particular strategy, not the right strategy, but this particular strategy of putting primaries direct to canvas. One of the outcomes I like about that is the many colors it produces. You know, all of these. If I pre-mix these, I don't get such a diverse look in my scene.
Yeah, you know, and Songos, he has, or she, they, Songos, whatever is going on with Songos is they're saying there is only ever multiple ways to do something. That's the only way it is.
Let's try to find fault.
I feel you. I see what you did there, Songos.
There's only I get it. That's what you call a conundrum. Am I right about that? maybe an oxymoron. What is it? Like a self-contradicting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very clever.
And then so Maxwell's coming in here with Joe, Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe, look at you. Mr.
Hey, I don't mind that name. I like it. It's very classroomy.
You're gonna like this one, Joe. Do you make use of the purple to form a distant object?
Oh yeah, for sure I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh, I just lost my headset. Hang on a second. Don't need to hear the story. We're back. It's live.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
All right. Did we lose anybody? Okay.
Yep, we did. They hate you.
Oh, it's bound to happen. Okay.
Bummer.
What are you gonna do? Okay, we're painting. We were talking about gradients. We were talking about the world of either or versus, the constant gradual change we were talking about here. While I'm trying to put together this gradient for my picture.
Well, there's this thinking of like, how do you make something brighter? How do you make a highlight? Your title here is painting a happy place. And so we would maybe safely assume that a happy place is one that has some light in it, not necessarily like dark and gloomy. So you're trying to create some light.
Yeah.
And
that's my kind of happy place. Let's just say that's what I call a happy place.
And one way to create light is to just take a bunch of white, some yellow, and smash it on the canvas, as you've done firstly here. You took a bunch of white, took a bunch of yellow. But that was on a white canvas, and it didn't look that bright. It just looked like a bunch of white. So then what you did is you went over and you grabbed some brown and some deep purple, and you put that right next to the bright white and yellow, and all of a sudden, wow, we got light. So
that's true. That's kind of like you need this. That contrast has a real vital role, right?
Yeah, I would say it has a necessity. It is necessary for darkness to surround the light so that the light can be seen.
Yeah.
Darkness next to the light so that darkness can be felt.
Yeah, I could hear you getting poetic. You're going into poetry mode.
Just life, man. It's just life is art, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's my life, really.
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna stand on a soapbox here. You put a bunch of gray on that canvas and make it dynamic. You can't.
It's hard. Yeah, it's a very special kind of art that can
in perspective you want, but if you don't leverage darkness next to light and light next to darkness, you don't have drama.
Right. And when you say gray, you're not just saying two-tone, you're saying taking out the contrast.
Just middle value.
Right.
Halfway between pure black and pure white.
Yeah. Extremely dull to look at. Yeah. Although, I'm not saying there's no purpose for it, but I definitely see the point. Well-made point. There. Yeah. So you need that. You need that contrast. But so like you were talking about
that. It's also, and I'm extrapolating from the myriad hours I've spent listening to you talk, Joe. But,
okay. You can talk about your work too. Your artwork is pretty.
This is relevant in my work too. Okay, I'll frame it in my own perspective. So
because you're working with light in a pretty everyday way.
1,000 of you out there that are listening to this conversation right now. Psych.
Good morning, YouTube.
What's up, world? I'm a photographer. I make images with cameras and video and filmmaking and all that, right? So an area that I've grown recently in my craft is understanding colors of light and making sure that the colors of the light, I film a lot of people, I take a lot of portraiture. The colors of the light need to make sense with each other. If you have one color of light coming from a window and then you have a different color of light shining on a person's face, you do not believe that their face is lit by that window. You think to yourself, there's another object in there that must be that color, right? And so they're not telling the same story. When you want when you want to tell a cohesive story, when you want it to feel real, like when you want this light to feel real and this purple to feel real like a shadow, you have to be using the gradient that occurs naturally, the hue shifting, as Joe refers to it.
Right,
And
right.
in my work, I do just the same thing. I'll adjust the color temperature of the studio light that I'm putting on someone's face, and then I'll try and match that to the color of the window light that's coming in through the window. And then you believe, oh, this is not a person who's being artificially lit, and this is fake. You're thinking, look at that beautiful
Mhm.
light through that window and falling on their face. So
Yeah. So then what's different about, here's a question, because we started this out talking about, it's annoying when people start toting the right way to do something, when you do
yeah,
art,
so
to
that creates
summarize
a
it.
realistic scenario that creates the sensation that that light is coming in through the window and light is hitting that person. Now, if I want to put like a very warm orange light on someone's face and then the light outside is very blue, you're now telling a story that's just different. You're telling a story that they are lit by something else. It's not
Sure.
wrong that they're orange and the light coming in through the window is blue. It's just a very different story. So I'm not going to sit here and say the correct way to light a portrait is to match the light on the talent with the ambient light in the room. I'm not going to say that. That's just a way to do it that's pretty popular because you're trying to mask that it's artificial.
Yeah. Right. Because,
if
there are
wanna pull
some
out
time
different
tested
tools and do it a very different way, you're just achieving different results. And it's good to understand what results you're going to arrive at based on your approach and your technique.
Yeah.
And so this shadow to light, I think, works because the gradient is what naturally occurs with light in our physical reality. So it tells that story.
You're saying in this quick scene here. Yeah, right. It's borrowing from observation and saying, I see that this effect is caused when these elements are together, so I'm going to use that to accomplish this purpose. But it's not claiming something that ought to happen in the creative process.
Well, Mavis has a point here that I've heard her make before, which is that she says, quote, right and wrong are deadening words. And I remember previously as well about how when you arrive at a definitive answer, your creativity stops. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Maybe I just made that up. I'm not going to put word in anybody's mouth. I just made that up.
Right. Well, we're feeding off each other's ideas.
When you feel like you've arrived at like an absolute, when you feel like, okay, so this is right, that is wrong, whatever, you stop asking questions, you stop learning, you stop discovering, you stop.
Which is interesting because,
yourself, frankly,
it's exciting when you find a way that works. And so the immediate reaction can easily be, I finally found the right way. And so then that feels like a little bit of a booby trap to me, because I think that I have experienced this when somebody comes with ideas to build on to your current way of doing it, or that seem to be contrary. You protect. The instinct is to protect. Oh, I found the right way. I actually have the right way. So I appreciate the thoughts, but no, thank you, because I already have the right way.
There's a deep psychological insecurity that's underneath that, and being a person, and this is relevant, so bear with me, but being a person is an anxious state of being, because you didn't put yourself here. You don't know what's going on. All you know is what the people who've been here longer than you are saying about what they learned in the time they've been here, and you're going to take their word for it, or you're going to find your own way or whatever. But you're trying to vanquish that unsettling feeling of, I don't know anything about this because I didn't make it, I don't control it, and it has power over me. And so it's incredibly unsettling. And so we naturally want to find right and wrong and something reliable, something true, something unflinching upon which we can build our perspectives, our lives, So when someone comes around and says, hey, what you think is right or wrong is actually just a
It's
way.
just
Well,
a
now
way.
you're like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my gosh. Well, now it's not absolute and I can't build a life on that. And it's destabilizing. It happens with someone's belief systems. It happens with the way someone
Yeah, yeah,
thinks.
right.
It happens with
That's
people's politics. It's just incredibly destabilizing. So we gravitate toward absolute. However, it is that declaration of absolute, which is then the death of actually learning anything
yeah.
real, because we were talking about it just stops. Your discovery process stops, and
Yeah.
you take on a willful ignorance to preserve your safe little space.
And I think that
so common.
I think you're really onto something good there. I think you could go back and watch my old videos, and you can see my excitement level that is just a young buck who has really just like found the answer. I found it. There's one, if you look at Painting Light, I think I titled it. I was so excited that what I was doing was finally working. I was like, I'm going to make a video about this. I remember that light bulb moment. And so, I could look back on it and see all the ways that I've modified that thinking and say, no, I was wrong back then. Well, then we're back to that either or binary, right or wrong. But I think the balancing point for me has been viewing my approach as something always in progress, and I think that's what Mavis would probably agree to as well. Like with her statement that kind of opened up that conversation, is just being able to always adjust your approach, never seeing yourself as having arrived at the unimprovable. It plays a vital role.
So Songos is adding something that's important here. There is value to conviction.
That's very good. Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's like it's you and I and some of our family members kind of like default way of living, that just as you said, we are very curious. We find something that we latch onto that we believe strongly for whatever reason, and then in that moment we declare, yay, I've found something true.
It's like the nature. It's
and then next week we're going to be saying the same thing about a very different position, because life happens, and we are encumbered with ignorance for the aforementioned reasons. And so it is a simultaneous state of being to not know entirely what's going on, however, to stand upon what you have learned thus far, and go with it and use it and have conviction that it works. It's just not the only thing, So I think you can be convicted while remaining open and humble. That because that is not exclusive. It's simply reliable.
Yeah, it's where the rubber meets the road, right? I mean, we need conviction, because even though our understanding isn't perfect and complete, that doesn't mean that it serves no purpose. Like you still gotta respond to consequence. There is consequence, and we use consequence to our advantage in this painting, because I know
that your painting while you talk about this. I like
my bad. Sorry. I threw some pure primary
Maxwell in my brain. Stop showing us your tray.
Sorry. Thank you. Just keep on telling me. Okay, I threw some blue in there to deepen that color, because I knew the consequence of throwing that blue in there, to talk about my pain. I was aware.
Saying, conviction about a preference is not a declaration of right and wrong. Just got to listen to your inner voice when you bear witness to something that broadens your horizons.
Very good. Yeah.
And be willing to accept that there's another great thing to learn. Yeah. I like that, Songos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed.
I'll smash that like button, Songos.
Yeah. Flattery. So, I'm using just a little piece of knowledge that I've discovered along the way, that the consequence of these particular gradients is going to deliver a particular result that I've seen before, And so then if I if I take this too far, then I can start going into the realm of I've found the right way to paint a canyon scene. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's whoa, hold on.
Well, there's value in acknowledging the transient state of being, right? Like we're not static. Our understanding is not static. Every cell in our body is constantly shifting. There's nothing static. There's no arrival of life. It's just always in transition. And
Yeah,
our understanding of creativity when we make is no different. It's ever shifting. However, just because you don't know everything does not mean you don't know anything.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
And so it's just, there's value to injecting the word yet, I've found, or so far, right? This is my understanding.
Yeah, that's good.
So far. This
yeah,
is
that's good. That's a good thing to remember.
Something I've not achieved yet, or something that hasn't occurred yet. And it's not that you can't, you know?
Yeah.
It's that it's hasn't happened yet, or you know, I mean, it's nuance. It's gradient, man. It's gradient. It's injecting.
Here's a gradient.
And spectrum.
Let's see if we can try
some. Love for that teal water as well. We got.
Hey, all right, nice. Here's an idea for gradient. How about a gradient that is not a color gradient, but is a shape and size gradient? I'm going to gradually adjust shape and size of my ripples in order to create more depth on the surface of my water. Because if I, for example, if I just do foreground, background, I got 2 layers, but we don't know how far apart the 2 layers are. But if I do a gradient change, this paint kind of dried on me. It's still a little bit wet, but I'm going to reapply these same colors and then start doing these ripple patterns more spaced apart. So it's like a gradient change, real squished together, real spaced apart, and everything in between. And the more constant, I feel the more constant I can develop that gradual change. It's constantly, gradually changing. I'm struggling with the right words for that.
Yeah, well, Jackie Flores says, love the transparency of the water. The variety of colors makes it so juicy.
Thank you. It's a happy place. Like I've seen places like this. I'm like, someday I gotta paint that. Wow.
Man, like jump off of one of them cliffs into that water. That's what I want.
Yeah. Which is an interesting thing, it's just a different set of colors, yet it's so seductive and enticing. You look at blue water, like this turquoise water, man, why is it so amazing? I can't help but wonder what's going on in my physiology that makes me just want that. Like, yes, jump in it, roll around. It's a happy place, frolic.
Yeah. I'm ever curious about my love affair with water as well. I don't.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It could be as simple as, like I'm what, 75% of it myself, and so I am attracted to it because it is life and sustaining of life, and I want to be alive. So I like.
Yeah, but that falls short for me because that's just logic. But
it's a little too flat. It's a little too flat.
Yeah,
and also like I am like enthralled with water. It's not just I want it or want to be in it. Like I want to stare.
Yeah,
at it.
Yeah.
Like
a deep fascination.
You'll sit there and just watch a river flow for hours.
Yeah. Just the motion of it. Just the motion of water all by itself is a thing. Not to mention the
sound of it. It makes our blood pressure drop. Like
yeah.
What is it about water? I don't know. Love water.
It is. It's magic. Is it definitely? I can't deny it. Anyway, I'm doing this gradient. What I'm increasing is the space between my little reflection so that this opens up and feels more like a downward angle. See, we see that transparency. And I intentionally do it while the base coat's still wet because that pulls it back and forth and gives me that little bit of image distortion that we commonly see. So like I did the perspective of my cliffs and the green and then distorted it a bit while it was still wet. That's this strategy. Now, that's not the right way. That's a way to accomplish this kind of depth this perspective. You know, I actually, so I want to talk about, on that note, I like to study the visual perception. I like to just really analyze myself and my own reaction in order to arrive at, well, here, this seems to be the pattern that is causing me to perceive this image, because it seems like images are all a pattern of edges and gradients, just some kind of pattern of edges and gradients. And I want to master those patterns in order to create what I want to see. Well, so my point in that is I can't confine it to a particular technique. What I'm doing is understanding, well, what my eyes are going to pick up on is a gradient change, but gradient change can be executed so many different ways. And it even doesn't have to be there. It's just a powerful thing that will have immediate results. So here I am putting this in, and my gradient change is going to be executed. You know, I could use a totally different technique with this. Let's say instead of these real separated things, maybe instead I just start scribbling like this. You know, that also is going to be gradient change if I'm scribbling tighter up here, but looser here, messier technique. But this accomplishing that bit of perception is not confined to a particular technique, I don't think. You know.
Hey, here's a quick 10-second notice to tell you guys. There's a link in the description of this video. If you click on that link, it takes you to a Google Drive page. You can drag the picture that you have over to that page, release it. It will upload to that page, and then we will be able to see it.
Oh yeah,
you should do that. You should do that. And we got some people out there doing some progress reports too, Joe, so we can check out their.
Oh, nice! I'd love to see that. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
So do that, guys. Do that if you want to.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then, you know, there's multiple ways to accomplish an effect. Here, I'm going to do something I didn't do over here, and that's go back and put the more greenish colored, what would be faces of ripples, you know, the part of the ripple that tips toward me. You know, I just put a little bit of green in there, and that creates it. It's, you know, I'd say a more tedious method, not my favorite for this particular painting, because the joy of this one for me is in the fast execution. You know, just putting the colors in place and seeing it come together. That's a lot of fun for me. All right, I'm going to put a dark cliff up here. Let's get some of those darks. Ooh, that contrast.
So check this out. Songos is saying, you know, turbulence. Here's the thing. Talking about turbulence, right? You're making that water kind of like move around and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So their mind is on turbulence. It's a reality that often doesn't show in photos, they say, but is very much there and can be displayed through art, like Van Gogh.
That's a really good point. You know, I've never really, I can really appreciate how you pinpointed that topic. I don't think I've ever really thought of that so explicitly, of capturing turbulence. And I think you are exactly right.
I mean, I like moving pictures for that very reason, just because it's an excellent modem. It's an excellent medium for, you know, capturing emotion in its fullest, turbulence being one of the more subtle, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's a good thought. Yeah, turbulence.
So how do you make that water look turbulent, Joe?
Well, you know, I'm just putting that gradient of ripples, and that gives us a feel for when, you know, you do the ripples. That's a time-tested pattern. I mean, we've all been, like we said, fascination with water. We're all well acquainted, probably on a more subconscious level, with the look of rippling water, and it has this immediate feel to it. So you just do a little suggestion of that in a picture, and you get the associated movement. It's power of association is my theory on that. I don't know that that's the case. That's what it seems to be to me, is power of association.
Yeah, yeah, and then Songos also is pointing out your direction of brush strokes underneath the water versus the surface of the water is another effective thing you're doing
Well,
here.
that's a really good observation, because uh, water is something that I try to preach a lot, because I find it so helpful, is that water is something that is very much shape oriented. When you want to capture water, it pays to try to capture shape shapes. That doesn't mean an exact brushstroke is the right one. It kind of sticks, trying to say the right way. Whatever you do, though, is going to create a shape texture relationship, whether it's a more impressionistic flow that's messy, or whether it's a more precise brushstroke like I'm doing at the moment. Those create a shape relationship where these are making rows, for example, just an example. And
Yep.
water has that pattern. It's shape relationships that tell us its direction and movement.
And what was I just
You'll
gonna
get
say?
it. You'll
I was
get it.
just
You'll
I
get
was
it.
just gonna say, hey, welcome all you latecomers. I see you guys piling in here after
Hey, nice. All right. Yeah. You missed all the
lucky
technical
for you,
difficulties.
you missed all of our really exciting streaming of a black screen and Rachel
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to sort
Exactly.
out
Yeah.
IT. But since
But
you're
we had
here
the
now,
chat time.
let me give you a quick walkthrough here. We got a link that you can check out in the description. You can upload your stuff. We're gonna look at your stuff. You also got a chat here where you can talk to Joe. You can say whatever you want. You can ask him what he had for breakfast. You can ask him what's the most annoying thing about your brother Ben. Anything you want, you can talk about it.
Yeah. Or you could ask Ben. Mm-hmm.
You can ask me. I don't know
what the most annoying thing about Joe is.
Hey, there's an idea.
Yeah.
Or you can likewise hit the little heart-shaped button, maybe a little 100, maybe
you could do that.
Party emoji.
Totally.
Then the robots know that you enjoyed this, and they'll say, "Hey, maybe other people will too." And then when more people get to enjoy it, more
that's how it goes. That's it.
That's the way it works. So welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Hey,
tell us where you're from. That's what I want to know. We heard all kinds. We got like all corners of the globe, but we want to hear about you newcomers. Where are you at? I'm in Long Beach. It's a beautiful day in Long Beach.
Oh, nice. Beautiful day there, huh? Did you get any of that? We got a snowstorm the last 2 days.
No, dude, it don't snow in Long Beach.
Well, I didn't know if you got rain or weather.
I don't know. Bare feet in the sand.
Nice.
This rent money is paying for something. Come on, man. There's no snow. I got to pay these prices to get my feet cold.
Yeah, right. Right. Indeed. All right. I got it. Well, I'm just throwing in a little bit of reflection. Something helpful with water, whatever technique you use, you can establish reflection areas. So all these little ripples are places to continue putting reflection colors. See, I won't just randomly place, I built a context is what I'm saying here. And my colors are suggesting that there's reflection areas in these particular spots. So once I have those decided, I will put other layers of the other colors in my landscape on those existing areas. So this right here is a color that might be a reflection of this right here. And I'm putting it on top of that kind of purplish existing color. I'll put a little touch of white in there, a little more. Then we put it right in there. So, establishing your step one with the picture for me is establishing the context, the zones, places where different elements exist. Then fine-tuning them comes after that, so that I can, keep the story straight. Here, look, this is a great place to do a dark reflect. This is kind of fun. Reflection may be darker than the water under it. I'm gonna do this.
So Mavis asks, Joe, how did you decide on the areas of reflection?
I just kind of let the brush decide. I did my gradient tight, flat up here, and then just spaced it out. I am very trained in this particular stroke from doing it a lot, and I just Made them real tight here and went fast enough that I'm not thinking too hard about where they are, other than them being spaced apart and smaller as they go downward in the picture. So here, as I'm putting new dark reflections, I'm going to look for areas where I already have that kind of violet. Oh, I went too far out there because we don't need to reflect a dark thing out here in the middle. Anyway.
Dude, 50 degrees in Oakland, California. That's a cold 50 degrees, man.
Whoa.
That's a wet, cold 50 degrees.
Is Oakland up north? Is that why it's cold?
Yeah, like San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay.
And we also got the Pacific Northwest, NorCal. What up, RN Kim? Cold up there too, man. Cold, cold everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Finally getting our winter, right? It's fine. Better late than never.
You know,
that's how it is in
the shadows and highlights of painting. We must have the cold and heat of the planet. You know?
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, chew on that. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I got my zones established here. So when I need to go in and further tweak some, this looks like it could take a tiny bit of orange rock color, mix it in with that greenish color. I'll put a dab more of that phthalo green is what that is. See, I get my little shape because I had that dark going out further than I wanted it to. Okay, then I established my reflection zones. Here's purple, just pure primary purple. Just putting it as close together as what this zone tells me. I've kind of got the map laid out. So down here, I maybe make a little more space between them, a little more. Here, they're a little closer together, right there. And then I'll put white on top of that because the idea is that the purple mixes with my greenish, call that turquoise color, and gives me a very natural light result, what would be a natural result of colors of light mixing here. The reflection, this is something that I think can't be said enough because water's so mystifying as you're looking at texture and shape bounce all around. Something that can't be said enough is that it is predictable and mathematical. These relationships, what color to use for the reflection, it really comes down to one color of light. A computer can generate this, no problem. We have the turquoise color plus the object being reflected. We've got light coming from under the water. We've got light coming from above. It bounces. We see both colors at the same time. It's a mix between the two. So understanding what's likely to be seen on there, which to be fair would not likely be this purple for this reflected on green. I'm off on that. But that also shows you that there's wiggle room for a little bit of fantasy. So you can
we like to see you wiggle, Joe.
Wiggling
is what we came to see.
Yeah. Okay. There's wiggle room. There's wiggle room. We don't have to be completely accurate. It's just fun to know how the system works. That's it.
Wiggle with it. for all you hip hop and pop fans out there.
Yeah. That's some old school.
Yeah. So Joe, would you jump off of a cliff into brown water?
I need a little bit more to the story,
Well, well, why is the water brown?
Yeah. Right.
How tall is the cliff? I mean,
yeah.
It's just an interesting question,
In most cases, yes. I mean, most of the brown water I've seen is we go boating and camping and swimming in a brown lake here in Flagstaff. So I regularly jump into brown water. It's clay, it's a clay bed, is why that water's brown. That's Lake Mary. You're familiar with Lake Mary, of course.
Lake Mary is brown.
It's just going to always be brown, but it's not what you might think of as unclean. It's not less clean than this kind of earth. Probably is less clean. Probably is less clean. Now that but it's not so bad. It's just clay.
It says if I'm being chased by a bear, it doesn't matter why it's brown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more to the story.
Jumping in that water.
Yeah.
Well, I believe it was Leanne that was talking
Oh,
about,
whoops.
you may want to jump in that water, but that's only because it's clear. If it's brown, not so much.
I'm accidentally painting off camera here. Yeah. Yeah, right. You know, it's not my version of paradise, but it's better than no water. You know, brown water. Gosh, anybody that's been to Muddy Falls or Grand Falls here in Arizona, it's out on the Navajo reservation. Some years you're not even allowed to go. I think lately they restricted access to it. It is an amazing waterfall that happens only at a certain time of year, at the spring melt time.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing brown water. I mean, they call it Chocolate Falls, Muddy Falls, because it's just so amazingly brown. It's something to see.
Yeah, and then Songos is accurately pointing out here that, like, clarity of water is not cleanliness of water. There's like emerald waters in nature that are toxic for this reason or that.
Oh, that's good.
And with that, what up, Steven from Liverpool?
Hey, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Nice.
Liverpool,
that's exciting.
Across the pond.
I love that. I love that. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm open to suggestions. And Ben, how are we doing on submitted work? Anybody putting their stuff in there for us to look at?
Yeah. Maybe it's all the same person though. I don't know. But let's look at it.
Yeah. Is it time to have a look?
Yeah. So I'm gonna need you guys to fess up here in the chat. All right.
Tell me when to just tell me when, and I'll flip the camera over there so we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me know who's got this awesome landscape, you guys. Who uploaded this awesome landscape with this river flowing toward a sunset? I want to know. I don't see a signature.
That sounds cool.
We go look at that one.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm eager to see. I'm eager to see what we got.
Got to give props where props are due.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to give props where props are not due.
Yeah.
Or just not give props,
I mean, if we're being honest, I've given props where they're not due. No, of course not on my Mural Joe channel. You're not going to find that. I've only ever told the complete 100% truth.
The allocation of props is a very serious matter. We really want to.
Yeah, especially if you're in government. That's not good.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's not open up
so check this out, Joe. I'm gonna show you some stuff here. Let's have a look-see.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
All right.
Okay, we're switching over.
First up to bat, what we got.
Screen.
Here's a little progress report of some paint along.
I'm gonna do full screen so we can see. Oh, it's on full screen. No, we're gonna change the layout. You change the layout so it's
screen, man.
Spotlight. There we go.
Let me zoom a little bit for you too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ah, nice. There we go. Hey, beautiful colors. Ooh, like that turquoise curl. This feels like a very impressionistic approach. Very colorful. At the kind of shape we'd see on a wave curl. It has good, nice translucency to it. That's cool.
So
like
someone's painting along here. I forgot who this is. I think it's
nice.
I'm gonna misallocate props, man.
This is like that subject shape flow. I like the shape flow of that. As it has nice feeling to it. It's kind of stuff we're talking about. Stuff that you don't get in photos. Like just the human response to shape and movement. It can be such a fascinating mystery. I like that.
Yeah.
So that glow, you got adding the gold, that little bit of gold in the whites as it moves toward those reds. To me, just makes it pop. I like that.
Yeah, and then here's another. I think here's a little more progress on it as you've been painting.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I like it. Keep going. That looks like a very free flow of color.
I want to float on through that orange part.
Totally. Oh man, you could use that as a starting point for, like, those galactic going through outer space. You got the colors, the clouds, the movement.
I'm seeing like there's like a cresting wave there, that blue cresting wave, and somebody's just catching the tube, and that orange through the tube is maybe like this glorious late afternoon.
Yeah. Looking through it.
It sets the imagination on fire,
It does. Yeah.
And that.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah. That's cool. And then whoever painted that, go ahead and pipe up in the chat so the props can be allocated. And then Here's another one without a
Ooh, deep
signature.
color. Ooh, I like that
Whoosh.
contrast.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what strikes me instantly about that is those dark, colorful shadows.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, colors and shadows is a real powerful effect. It has such a attractive look in artwork. I think when there's deep color and shadows, where you know if an artist just darkens and doesn't darken with saturated colors, you can see the difference is all that I'm saying. You know, there could be appropriation for the different choices, but I love when that saturated colors put in there as a shadow. That's good.
So that last one, the progress report, was from Joe. a
Hey,
different
all
Joe.
right. Nice. Beautiful. I like
and
that.
then
Man.
we're looking
Beautiful
at
light, beautiful contrast. No
this one here
mistaking
is
the
from
water
Bearded.
ripples.
Bearded space _
Yeah, cool.
Do we think that Bearded has a beard?
I'm gonna guess yes, but you know, you never know these days.
Oh, it does. And it does. Yes, you're right. It does say Bearded in the file name. Smart.
Okay, very good.
Bearded with the brain. Look at the big brain on Bearded. All right, let's check out this next one.
That looks awesome, man. Thanks for sharing this work. That's great. Very good.
Here we go. Wow.
Ooh, that's cool. That's the Kraken. We got the giant arm coming up over the way, man.
Dude, you know what's awesome?
Dark,
is this,
ominous water. I like that.
This image and this image feel like
so
versions of
contrasting
each other, right?
Yeah.
Like there's that wave, and then like
now
there's the orange thing in the back too. It's funny.
So here's something worth talking about. You know, if we were to take what I was just saying I like and make it like art should be this way, like if we were saying you need to saturate shadows, well, that would completely overhaul the mood of this picture. And it does. This picture isn't about that. Like this has this inky, dark, ominous feel as that black water's curling up and the shadows.
Yeah.
So I like so in this one I like the colorlessness of the shadows. That
who
it has a
painted
very
this?
different vibe.
Pipe up out there, world. Who painted this? All right. And then again,
looks
just,
like we got a ship on its
click on that
side.
link in the for those of you struggling to make this work, just click on the link in the description. That'll take you to a page. You're going to drag your image onto that page and it'll upload, ideally. Technical difficulties, we understand. That sucks, but that's
just
how this is working. All right, cool. So
it's the best thing we got. Yeah, keep flashing them. I'm not going to stay on the other screen here.
We live in a world of fragile connectivity, the internet being one of them. All right, so
I know.
here's something
it's getting
cool.
us too. Okay, I'm going to go over there and we're going to look at that. What do we got? Oh, nice.
Dylan repping the hot stream, or maybe not.
Oh, we got a party. We got a party going on. Zoom in.
What's going on? What's going on, Dylan? What's going on in there?
I need a closer look.
What's going on right here?
Maybe I should put a body or two in my scene. That's food for thought. That's cool.
Well,
nice. I like that's good.
On the right is maybe stuck in a little whirlpool of.
Yeah, or just dove. Big splash.
Oh, there you go. They just popped up.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Now let's see. Zoom out a little. Let me see that. Those falls are really something to look at. I love the way those falls are coming down. Very excellent work.
Oh yeah, and the trees
coming down over the rocks. Nice use of gradients. I just want to point out that gradients like this are so effective on making a fall coming over rock. That gradient is beautifully done to make it look like glossy water coming over the curve of a rock. Nicely executed. Good depth and shape on this.
Yep, and this one right here belongs to Dylan. Something.
Nice.
So
nice.
Check out Dylan's,
I've seen Dylan's work.
Something.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Here's one. Check out this little mushroom.
Hey, we were just talking about how boring gray is. Look at that. That's not boring.
Well, the value. Okay. Clarify.
No. This has high. This has contrast. It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying that.
Like middle gray. But yeah, this is well
really cool. Yeah. What's the medium?
Yeah. What is this? medium is. Let's get a closer look here.
Yeah. Let's identify it. It looks like.
Oh, it's like watercolor, man.
Yeah. It looks watercolor-ish, but is it water? Yeah, it looks like ink. Maybe ink with a brush. Maybe watercolor style, but with just. Yeah,
I thought it looked nice and pencil-y or charcoal-y at first. But
yeah,
that's watercolor.
Yeah.
That's watercolor, dude.
That's
Look at this background. Look at all this blue right here.
Beautiful work. I gotta say that is really nice to look at. Shadow and light are so nicely done on that. It's really captures your attention. Believable. It's a picture that makes your imagination want to wander. That's what I look for in a picture. That's what I like, is one that makes my imagination want to explore further. That's it.
Yeah,
there's limits to that statement. There's some things I don't want grabbing my imagination, but general statement.
And thanks for taking credit. The chat, you guys. We got Dylan Ray is how you pronounce that last name there, and then
oh yeah, okay, thanks. That's good.
We also are going to have a look here at that. Look at this one. More watercolor.
Ooh, that's a pretty one. I like that.
Yeah, the misty kind of a valley. That's neat.
Yeah. And to me, I don't know if it's just camera exposure, but this kind of has a little bit of a pinkish hue to it. And that contrasts with the hue of this one down here. I love that difference because that makes this one glow. I like the warm color, cool color contrast there. That's really beautiful. And excellent choice of distant hill color. This is something that people do. I would say this is an oversight very commonly, is when an artist wants to capture the look of distant green hills and goes more turquoise than what naturally occurs, because the logic says, oh, I'm just going to take my greenish colored paint and lighten it. And then natural light actually produces a very gray color when blue and green light combine, the two different lights. So like blue atmosphere of the sky combined with the green, you get a very gray result. And I would say that this really resembles that natural overlay very nicely, because you got the bright greens here moving into that atmospheric gray. It's very nice.
I'm into it. I kind of want to be there,
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at all these beautiful paintings. Here, let's look at this one.
We got a lot. Dude, look at that. Man, I emptied out the folder this morning. That's all fresh this morning.
We got some skilled peeps out there in the world.
Yeah, we got beautiful work going on. Nice. All right.
So who is this? Someone, this bearded.
Okay. We got another one from Bearded. Yeah. Okay, beautiful perspective. I like that stream.
It's Wyoming, man. This has got Wyoming vibes.
Piling up on the rocks. The rocks look nice and wet, like it's just splashing up on there.
Ooh,
nice. High contrast. Real good. Again, the high contrast is beautiful.
Here's another Bearded special. Bearded's got an aesthetic going with these rocky mountains.
Man, it's beautiful. Let's do since we got so many, it looks like we got a lot of pictures based on what I'm seeing. Maybe we could do a rapid.
We've seen them. We've seen a lot of them. Here's another progress report from Joe out there, looking good.
All right. We
got more of that. Let's see here. Oh, here's one. What is this?
Whoa, that makes you look twice. Look at that. Okay.
Check out the Mural Joe live in the bottom corner. What up?
Nice. I'm seeing yeah, man. Wow, what a great mashup of different shapes and 3D perspective. What are those silhouettes? We got the low contrast right there, and
beanie weenies. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Nice work, Joe. Nice work, Joe.
Man, that's great.
All right, cool. So we've seen them all. Joe.
Oh, whoa! I like. Wait! Hit me with that. Hit me with the right in the middle. The way. Come on. What is that? Look at those colors.
Just put this in here.
Oh yeah, that high contrast on that water just does it for me. Just we got the dark, deep water.
Who is this? They got a signature here. Keep an eye out for P somebody.
Yeah. Zames. Does I say Zane? Zames?
I don't know.
Zeke.
Zames.
Okay.
Zamas.
Okay, cool.
Zamas.
Ah,
Zooms.
beautiful. Man, the glow on that sun is spot on. It's just, man,
Yeah,
that just
that is
glows.
very effectively achieved, that glow, and on the
Yeah.
water and the sky.
Yeah, you get,
Into it.
I feel like I could go through all these pictures and see the many different executions of the same gradient patterns. Like I'm working on my gradient pattern, such a different execution, but we're all capturing this beauty on planet Earth
Yeah, Elderwood
where
made this one.
light
Nice job,
comes through
Elderwood.
atmosphere. Nice. Ah, great work.
Yeah, cool. And then this is probably another Elderwood here, judging by the aesthetic. No, this is a Dylan
Okay.
Ray. This is a
Oh,
Dylan.
there's Dylan. Okay, beautiful, beautiful country road. Boy, makes me want to
Country
sing the song.
road, take me home.
I heard that when he says,
To
I think that's John
place
Denver. Is that John Denver sings that song? I'm sorry
where
to
I
sound that.
belong.
I heard it's not about the state West Virginia, but it is about the state of Virginia in the western part.
Oh,
it's the western part of the state of Virginia. That's what I heard. I
Trivia. Hey, check out these oil rigs.
Nice. I like that. That's got a nice
this, like,
vibe to it.
Texas plain.
Yeah. Stormy looking sky.
Underhead.
Yeah. Got the windmill up there. No, yeah, that's a wind. That's like a windmill way up top.
Yeah.
Do I got that wrong? You think? It's nice.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah, I see oil rigs in the background.
It's interpretive, dude. It's interpretive.
Got great lines. Dreamy look.
Yeah, guys, thanks for submitting those. We're gonna
beautiful.
We're gonna ride that inspiration. So one thing that can be gathered, Joe.
Yeah,
I think from seeing all of those effective uses of gradient.
Yeah.
Is what we were talking about. It's like there's not just like the way to do
the way, yeah.
Or gradient. There's like the way in which the individual sees it,
Sure.
And then them executing it that way, which achieves their individual aesthetic, which is
right, and
tasty and unique.
And there's people want to celebrate different things in their celebrate as in spotlight, so make there's really different things that people want to spotlight.
And think of it this way, right? Like how many photos of a sunset? We live in an Instagram world, right? How many photos of a sunset has the average person
and they kind of come out very similar. They're all just so very similar.
I don't even take photos of sunsets anymore.
You're like, it's been done.
Breathtaking sunset, and I'm not even gonna take the picture because I promise you, it's already out there.
It's not because it's not beautiful. It's just that the beauty is there in the moment. You're not gonna capture anything new with the photo because it's been done.
Exactly. It is beautiful, but it's just been seen that way over and over and over and over because everybody pulls out their cell phone and snaps that shot. But if you all are out there painting all this light in these rivers and these mountains and these streams and these mushrooms and these octopus Poseidon things, you're all going to inescapably see it through your own brain, through your own eyes, through your own life's experiences, and then you're going to create it slightly differently. And all of your paintings are so much more interesting to look at than 100 pictures of the same glorious sunset.
Totally.
There's value in that, there's value in understanding that the way you see things is precious, is unique. I'm not saying that the way you see things is marketable. I'm not saying that it's commercially viable, but it is individual and precious.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because
when you're not there perceiving anymore, your perspective is gone. And so use it and voice it while it is here,
I like that. I like that perspective. Everybody's not doing the designer work that people want to decorate their houses with, but that doesn't mean that it's not bringing a smile. Artwork does these cool things. It lets people know they're not alone a lot of the time. It gets a laugh that someone had the nerve to put that on a canvas. We get a lot of cool stuff out of artwork other than the monetary aspect.
Yeah. So what are you working I don't know. You adding some dimension to
Yeah,
those ripples
I
there.
just
We
thought
see
it
them
would be
down
cool
into the
to.
water
I thought it'd
some.
be cool to put a few little lotuses in here. You know, I'm gonna put a real bright. You know, like maybe we got a little bit of light coming through here. We're gonna put like that same glow. This is that same pattern, that translucent glow. We'll put a bright yellow in there. I'm gonna try to. Let me zoom way in so you can see the technique a little better.
Zoom way in real quick, man. Get in there.
Yeah. We you know, we got some. I just same stroke really as I did the reflection. You can see it's not that different of a paintbrush stroke from my reflection strokes, just green, and then you know, I hit it with a dark green and a lighter green. So now I'm going to once again make a few strokes to create that translucent glow, and then what I'm going to do is make like a gray. This is going to be my foreground color where the light is not shining through so much. This is where I'm going to put some purples. Let's just see how this comes out. Let's see. If I've noticed you can get like the look of a white in a shadow if you really capture the atmosphere colors on it. So a gray that's saturated with atmosphere color becomes a shadowed white. It's kind of a fun pattern. So I'm going to go like this. We're going to put foreground, some foreground. I got to get the darkness right. You know, I'm going to boost up the purple just a little bit, and we're going to go right here, just doing some down strokes to get some foreground leaves there. And let's hit it with a little bit of white on the far side up here where the light is just nicking the tops of the petals. There we go. We want light coming through the back side. The intent here is light coming through the back side of a lotus. Let me see if I can fine tune this a bit. We'll try some more. Maybe I'll get better as I progress and be able to apply the same things to my best ones to my first. I usually paint the last part of, when I do murals for clients. It tends to go like that. I start in a less conspicuous place because by the time I get to the end, I'm doing my best work and I want to come back to the first work and modify it with what I learned in the course of that project. That happens.
You know, I was just sitting here thinking about, this is going to be a huge surprise to you, Joe, but
let's
sitting here thinking about
let's hear
the
your non-deep thought.
The value of darkness. All right.
Oh, okay. The value
because
of dark.
You're contemplating how to make light and darkness, and I'm thinking, you know, like we spend so much of our lives trying to vanquish darkness, trying to like make suffering go away, you know, make sadness go away. But that's equivalent to just making the blackest blacks of your painting lighter. And in doing so, yeah, the darkness is relieved, but so is the dynamic. So is the contrast. So the light becomes dimmer, you know? When your darks become lighter, your light becomes dimmer. And so there's like a value, there's an opportunity to the darkness. And so it's like,
but I can't blame anybody for wanting to get rid of it.
The opportunity of darkness, right? Rather than like the cumbersome element of darkness. And I'm sitting there having this philosophical thought. And then all of a sudden, this dude Joe, which has been painting all this abstract stuff with you, and these progress updates that we just looked at, this guy Joe says, I literally started painting when I went to prison in 2022 because of Joe.
Whoa, cool.
I wouldn't be here in this form without his exuberance. Thank you, Joe.
And I really appreciate it. That makes me feel a mile high right now. I appreciate you saying that.
Isn't that beautiful just to think that this guy, like, well, it's safe to say going to prison is maybe kind of a darkish experience, right?
Yeah.
This guy, Joe, he's in there, he's turning that into an opportunity for light. He's in there getting inspired and painting and
how cool
leveraging this. And it just kind of encapsulated that thought while I was having it. So awesome to hear, Joe. Joe out there and Joe here.
Man, so that's also Joe.
Yeah, that's
We're talking
Joe.
about.
That's not Mural
All
Joe.
right,
That's
all
Joe.
right. Wonderful name. A wonderful name.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate you sharing that so much. That is just one of the highest compliments I could ever hope for is that I got to be a light in somebody's circumstance and their day and their life. Thank you for letting me be the one. That's a real privilege.
And Rosemary, thanks for saying hi. We'll catch you on the next one. Enjoy
Oh
your day.
man, I did get better. I'm sorry to just call that out, but I did get better with the last one. Look, first versus last. I walked over to my camera, make sure you see. Look at the difference. First versus last.
I love how
First,
surprised
last.
you are that you have improved.
Man, because the
did.
excitement of discovery, it's not about status
There
for
is
me.
hope. There is hope after all.
Yeah, it's just like this. It's like, and you all saw it, so what I changed, I didn't pre-mix my gray color. I just put purple on yellow, and I got this same atmosphere, purple on yellow, and the thin layer of it gave me that kind of dull. It has the orange to it, but it's a dull brown orange, I was like, and that was just the right ingredient, it looks like, for that backlit lotus effect. Man, I'm pretty excited about that glow effect. That came out nice. Now, I think with that in mind, I think a million people could take this knowledge and execute a much more beautiful lotus flower. I'm just excited to see what that order, that pattern accomplished. That's
talking about like the white to the yellow to the purple.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just so fun to see an effect pop out of a simple order of colors.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a little bit of bright orange in the middle of this one.
We're pattern-seeking creatures,
Yeah, I like them because they give you ability to make stuff. That's what I like about patterns.
Ooh, the Narrows. Where's the Narrows, Farah? I don't know about the Narrows. They say this painting reminds them of the Narrows.
We have a place called the Narrows here in my town too. It's a narrow spot.
Talking about the same place.
Do you think? I don't think so, because this doesn't look like Lake Mary Narrows.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
I don't think so.
Hence all the brown water discussion earlier.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Narrows that I've got. The Narrows is where you go to catch catfish around here. Okay.
Yeah. You catch a lot of things coming back from that water.
No, it's not that bad. Catch a lot of things. Okay, I'm going to put some caustics on this.
Oh yeah, the squigglies. Let's get some squigglies.
Come on, how about that? Look, dry brush. Like that. Dry brush it. Oh yeah. Here's a fun thing when you're doing these squiggly wiggly caustics. Light plus other light, when lines cross over, is brighter. It's very mathematical. So you get the sum. So you can make this feel more lifelike by boosting the brightness in those areas. So watch. I'll go here. I'll add a little yellow, a little white to get a brighter version of my color. And then I'll find cross sections like this. See this little cross section? Right there, little cross section there, little cross section in here. See that cross section? Right there. Let's kind of smear it a little. It doesn't always deliver exactly what I'm looking for, but good little tip when you're putting these together. The cross sections are brighter because they are more light. You can get some more believable glow to those caustics. Let's zoom out now that I've done my lotus flowers.
Well, we've been painting for about an hour and a half, Joe. It's been it's been a pleasure, and this is last call for you guys' work. Would love to see what you're up to. I see a lot of new stuff. We'll have a look-see at that in a sec.
Yeah.
Oh, cool iguana lizard coming up.
Tell me when to switch the camera. Let's see that.
And we got the all-knowing eye, just to wet the palette here, you guys, coming up in a second. Works from Star Wreck, Sean, and Rosemary, looking rad. have a look at that in a sec.
What kind of flower is this right here, Ben? What kind of flower am I painting?
Oh, that's a bird of paradise.
Oh, gosh. You nailed it. You knew
it's a bird
right
of paradise. Is it not? It's a bird of paradise, man.
Well, I was kind of thinking that as I was, but power of imagination. That's what I want. I want the imagination to just feel something, so it doesn't get questioned.
No, man.
That's the idea.
Look at this. Look at this, Joe. That's a bird of paradise, man.
Let's see it. Oh,
right. Is that not a bird of paradise?
Nice.
That
okay.
And then, right? Come on.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. You nailed it. I wasn't even on that wavelength, but now that we're there, we might as well take the kind of run with that and put a big old leaf, big tropical sized leaf in there. Like this. Few of these. It's just an impression is all it is. Just an impression. There we are. We got some flowers down in the corner. It's paradise. It's paradise. Now, I think putting a person in there would be fun, but we're out of time. We gotta call it.
Yeah, we're out of time, but we're not out of time to look at your stuff. So
sure. Yeah, let's have a last
check out this cool horse from Rosemary.
Let's check it out. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful work, man. Nice.
Isn't it like warm?
Again, darkness really lets you light. I think working dark in a painting is so helpful for, like, you'd never be able to get that sunlit white stripe on the horse's nose to be so illuminated without working dark. And the gold grass and the sun, that all is possible when you have the dark next to it in there.
Yeah, and then here's a sunflower from Rosemary.
Hey, all right, nice, beautiful. Shadow, the choice of shadow color on the yellow, excellent. Anyone knows that's tried to put shadow with black on yellow. You get green. Nobody wants green shadows on their sunflower petals. So that's really, really good balance of colors. Using brown for a shadowed yellow. It's great. Let me see that iguana.
What? I know what you want to see, Joe. I got you.
That's cool. Look at that.
This one from Sean giving up the iguana in this epic waterfall.
Beautiful. That's it. Yeah. See, this has something mine doesn't. This has an element my picture does
Skill,
not. Has
usefulness.
Yeah. I'll just let you have relatability. I was gonna say, because when there's a living thing and they're enjoying it, it takes it up a notch. You're like, oh yeah, it just makes you imagine what it's like to be that iguana.
Yeah, yeah. And then here's one from Joe again. Joe, he's doing work, man. He's inspired.
That's cool. Nice.
To the depths and back, and he has brought with him a spaceman.
You got to look at I wonder if Joe likes to listen to paranormal podcasts. I've been enjoying a lot of paranormal podcast. It's a little bit scary to listen to in the dark, but I really enjoy a podcast called The Confessionals with Tony Merkel. That's one of my favorite podcasts right now. Those symbols, the eye, the triangle, it's like,
dude, the spaceman is rad. You know what? I love this this like just blotchy colorfulness on the spaceman.
That's cool. Yeah. And
it makes sense for some reason. Like
the edging, it's all in the edge. I think a picture is all in the edges. What you make of a picture is how you interpret the edges. And those have these nice gradient edges that make this three-dimensional hollow form of that helmet in a kind of abstract artistic flow way. It's cool.
Yeah. Super cool, man. All right, one last scan here. Did we miss anybody? No, we have seen it.
Gosh, this is a whole lot more than we received on the first one. I think we're going to start picking and choosing which pictures we're actually going to be able to show us. So, we'll do our best to see as many as possible. But
on cardboard, no less.
We can't see
Joe doing it on cardboard. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. Well, I've got so much work on cardboard because it takes the pressure off, and you get such amazing practice when it's just all about just just seeing if the technique works. You know, like if I was on a big project for a client and I needed to do some nice looking lotus flowers and this little routine I did here, I'd just do it on cardboard and I'd do maybe like 10. So just really like, yeah, that's the way to do that. And I've got so many practice boards like that are all just for trying to figure out how the patterns work.
So far it says the Narrows are in Zion National Park.
Oh, that's another set of Narrows. Yeah, I'm sure much more beautiful than, yeah. I've been there once.
So it's been a lovely time, Joe. What do you want them to know before we wrap this up?
I'm looking for stories. If you've got a crazy story, I want to paint it. But I can't paint your whole story exactly. But just imagine if this picture actually pertained, you know, like let's just say it's a scene from your story. Man, if you've got something that's just a story worth telling, we're not going to confine it to anything. If you got a story that's just really far out, for example, you know, I met a guy and I'm hoping that I can get him on my YouTube show. He had this crazy thing happen where he's inside of a closed tent. He hears canoes coming up to their campsite. He hears a voice tell him from outside, come out of the tent. He opens it up, freaked out because it's nighttime, and no one's there. No one's there. And I'm trying to get him to tell that story because when he told me we were up there canoeing, I was like, man, that is so crazy. I love good stories. It doesn't have to be like a paranormal thing either. I just love stories that make you raise your eyebrows. Like, is that possible? So, hey, if you've been through something that is just a real cool story, I would love to hear it. Or what's another idea? If you got something that you're having a hard time drawing or painting, let's say you saw this wild thing and you're like, here's what it looks like, but I can't really draw it. Or I could even do a character sketch. We could do like character sketch. Let's say you saw a Sasquatch and you're like, oh, this is what it looked like, but you don't draw it. I want to draw it. Okay, those are examples. That's what I'm looking for.
Joe had a dream about babies being born in translucent baby fruit on a tree.
We could paint that.
Translucent baby fruit, man.
Hey, I'm looking for authentic experience. That's the criteria. That's it.
Yep. No liars, guys. No liars.
We're not trying to. This is not Mark Twain hour. Okay, we're not just making stories to hear stories.
No yarns, guys. No yarns.
Yeah, let me know. If you got something, I'd love to hear about it.
All right. Well, make sure you tell the robots if you enjoyed or hated this hour and a half with Joe by clicking that little heart-shaped thing over there.
Hey, thanks, Ben. Thanks.
That'll help us keep doing this.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Have a good weekend. We got some snow to shovel around here. All right. Thanks,
Better
Ben.
stretch.